Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There we go. Thank you very much, Rosa, and Bean Boys and Sheeby and Lewis. Welcome, Louise. Welcome, Bean Boys. Welcome, Sheeby. Welcome, Rosa. Sorry for that. Because I took my computer apart and took it from my partner's property back to the property for the person I care for. I dismantled my entire computer and put it all back together again, and so my microphone was actually in the other microphone slot, so I had to change OBS's things. So what I was saying was, today we're going to get the fusion reactor working. To get the fusion reactor working, we have to power up all the magnets, but we also have to get the fusion reactor up to 8,000 Kelvin. And to do that, we need to pump power into the fusion reactor to get it up to 8,000 Kelvin. Now, we've got a compact machine down here, and the compact machine has a bunch of RTGs in it. The red RTGs by themselves are 11,000 redstone flux. This is another 2,000 redstone flux. This is about another 200 redstone flux. And then we've got another 600 redstone flux from the thermoelectric generators in there. You got OBS worked. Awesome, Sheeby. We've got the transdimensional receiver, which is receiving power from our thing. Now, we also have these power sources. These are batteries. So we've got a vibrant capacitor with 50 million. We've got two of these who each have 60 million in them, although slightly less than 60 million because I set them to red to output to fill up this for some reason. And then we've got this, which has 6 giga RF, so 6 billion RF, British billion. That is. Now, at the moment, this generator is generating us 1,800 RF per tick. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch that around to HECF fuel. This is the most expensive fuel you can make. It uses the highest grade stuff. It produces a ton of heat. Base heat gen of 720. But it also produces a base RF per tick of 900. And that's 900 per reactor core. And we have a lot of reactor cores shoved in here. Now, this is probably going to cause the reactor to gain heat, but we do have this little heat protection circuit, which should prevent any problems from there. And from the looks of it, like, you do have to get the reactor up to temperature if you want this to work. So we're currently ticking away. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to see if I can take these two guys and use these two guys to bump our reactor's energy. Bloop, bloop. And then like so. And there we go. We're actually creeping up quite quickly now. Although that immediately emptied that out. So we literally just emptied those batteries instantaneously. Now we are getting, when we do get redstone flux through the dimensional transceiver, we are getting a gain of heat. But our gain of heat is very, very slow. But the problem is, once I connect these things, it's going to start draining my 6 billion RF. And I don't know if 6 billion RF is going to be enough. That's my concern. I don't know if 6 billion RF is going to be enough to get this thing up to temperature. Oh yeah, and the other thing I need to do is I actually need to set this to output. Otherwise it's not going to output any power because it was filling up. Hey, Electrified, welcome to the stream. So I need my configurator. So yeah, between all of my different power sources, or all of my different power sources and power storage, I should have enough. But I can't guarantee it. And that's the thing that concerns me. So, where are we? We are slowly gaining heat. But what the problem is, I don't want to leave this battery coil too late. Because if I leave the battery coil too late, then it might melt down. When do I connect this? I have another 20 million 25 million RF. So now the heat's ticking up reasonably quickly, but again, like, what's the maximum output rate on this? I think I gave this thing a maximum output rate of, yeah, 51,000 redstone flux per tick. And then we've got 11,000 and we've got our fusion reactor. When do I turn on the magnetic coils? Because they drain a lot of power by themselves. And this thing should be heading over onto using ECM fuel soon, which will start ticking over heat, but instead of generating 1,800 redstone flux per tick, we'll be generating a lot more than that. So this should suddenly jump up once we get rid of these. You're going to jump up and you're going to be generating 18,000. So we've increased the amount of generation by 10, by 1,000%. It's going to turn on and off, but it's going to be generating, when it does generate, it's going to be generating 18,000 redstone flux per tick. Here we go. You could have streamed tonight, but you're coughing non-stop. There we go. So all of our electric coils are up, apart from this one. Why are you not powered? There we go. That one's powered now. So now we just have to hope that I can get this thing up to temperature before I run out of RF here. Come on. How much RF have I got left? I've got... Okay, so we've gone through 100 million RF. This thing requires a lot of RF. Come on. Don't have any energy in those capacitors. Here, have a coal generator full of coal. Come on, heat up, heat up, heat up, heat up, heat up, heat up. A wild server has appeared. Ooh, a server for Enigmatica 2. Well, fusion is comparatively easy. I should hope fusion is reasonably easy once it actually gets going. Come on. Oh. Was that generation? Still not generating any power per tick. Come on, generate me power. Oh, that won't be a problem. If I can get enough power from this system to start it up, then I can expand this quite easily. And we've still got 2 billion RF left. Well, it's going up to 40,000 kilokelvin. Hasn't actually started burning fuel yet. Okay, so... Because this thing generates, at the moment this thing generates, I think it's about 16,000 RF per tick steadily. And I'll be able to increase that up to 20,000 easily. So we'll have more generation from this. Generator. Hey, hello, Sheeby Bread. Welcome to the Thingbob. And then we've got the HECF fuel, which generates 18,000 RF per tick. We're going to have more of the RTGs. I might even have to set up a second compact machine to make sure the RTGs run properly. But what we can do is we can actually set up these to fill back up again. And set these guys up to fill up as well. I've never actually used this kind of power gen. The JS show temp required for each fuel combo. Doesn't look like it. How are things going? Things are going alright. Hey, Alan Reaper, welcome to the stream. Temperature change 49,999 Kelvin per tick. I would like to add a few meters of lead personally. Fusion doesn't radioactive fusion doesn't create radioactive particles. Well, it does create radioactive particles, but not. My partner also wanted to play Colonies. Opted for Simple Life. Come on, warm up. I'm gonna have to look up what the temperature is. Boron 11 and lithium 7 fueled nuclear craft temp. Fair bit of beta and gamma radiation from fusion, I think. Not sure about alpha, but alpha can be stopped with basically tin foil, right? Not quite, but yes, sort of. Fuel type. Boron. How the reactor works. What are the temperatures for the different fuels? Base energy, fuels, fusion reactions, effective temperatures, boron and lithium. Boron 11, lithium 7. We want 11 million Kelvin, 11 to 12 million Kelvin to start. So we're currently at 3 million Kelvin. It's going to take a while to get up there. Is there any way we can increase the heating? Is there any way we can make it warm up faster? You are outputting maximum, but I think you're just filling up storage at the moment. Okay, so we have done, in the meantime, make a fire. Does that actually work? I wouldn't necessarily put it past it to actually work. Put lava beneath it, exactly. I wouldn't put it past it. Like, we were getting 49,000, right? We're getting 49,000 a tick. We are now getting 49,000 a tick. It didn't work. What happens if we put fire down here? And yes, I am genuinely trying this. No, 49,000 a tick. I had to try. I read somewhere on XKCD, I think you need to put an indestructible infinite hairdryer in a box. Then you can heat everything up with the infinite hairdryer. But what I did do in the meantime was I made 72 ME storage drives. What I ended up having to do this, 72 64Ks, because if you look at the recipe for these, if we look at the recipe for them, they require 3 of these and a circuit, which requires 3 of these and a circuit, which requires 3 of these and a circuit, which require 2 capacitors and 4 redstone alloy. So that's 5 silicon for the processors, plus another 4 silicon for the redstone alloy, plus a bunch, and also tons and tons of Certus quartz. Now, I did make a slight mistake in that I accidentally made 198 fluid storage components because they looked the same color. When I was late at night, they looked the same color. But we have finally made those. So that is this quest complete.
A truly impressive feat, Master Sergeant.
To get that done, what I actually did was I took my compact machine full of passive power gen, my 11,000 RF per tick passive power gen, and I took a digital miner. And what I did was I just did /RTP, digital mined up all the copper, Certus quartz, and a little bit of redstone, and like basically whatever I needed at the time, and then /homed afterwards. So I just literally just let it work. Ooh, hello. We're starting to generate helium. Have you got anything in you? You have. You have helium. Are you full of helium? No, you're not quite full of helium. That's fine. It's just that helium makes you look, because, like... Okay. And then we've got the other one over here, which should insert with nutrient when we've got it. If you use those naval anti-missile lasers, 1 per whom, you could basically shoot the moon off into space with laser ablation and scour the world clean of life. That finally is enough power. How long can I still before to epic Voido attack me? I have no idea. It's interesting, some of the experiments that have been done. Okay, we're at 5 million... No, we're at 500,000? We need to get to 11 million to do this. That's going to take a while. Is it because we're not putting enough... Do we have to put power into it once it turns on like this? Do we have to pump more power in? Or do we just have to wait for it to heat up? Whitelist you. And blacklist you. Excellent. So we have neutrino fluid and helium. Hey, Cappy, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Why using helium would use something more reactive? I'm not using helium, I'm generating helium. Helium is being produced by the reaction that's going on at the moment. If it was to pump more power into it, would that increase the speed? No, it doesn't. And in fact, it's not. It is drawing power, but it's not properly drawing power. Oh, I'm pretty good, Cappy. We're just trying to get this up to a temperature where we're actually going to be able to do stuff with it. Do I have any speed upgrades? I don't. Yes, helium and hydrogen are used for reaction in this. If we look up nuclear-craft helium, there is a difference between chemical and nuclear reactivity, but I believe we are producing a reactive. If we look up uses on the helium, the supercooler allows us to make liquid helium, and liquid helium allows us to make super cold ice. And liquid helium, liquid helium coolers. Must touch exactly one active redstone cooler and one reactor casing. That wouldn't actually be hard to do. That's not a bad cooler, actually, the liquid helium coolers. Super cold ice. Superconducting supercoil. Requires liquid helium to stay active. And then we can also make it into a molten salt cooler. Which allows us to make it, which allows us to use it kind of like as a liquid coolant. Okay, so we can't actually use it as a reactant in this. But we are generating neutron fluid. And that's what I want. I want us to be generating neutron fluid. I don't particularly care if we're generating power. We're currently generating 2 RF per tick at the moment. We are currently generating 2 RF per tick. That's fine. I'll accept 2 RF per tick for the moment. And I'll leave that going for a bit and just hope it doesn't explode. So, I know for a fact that the next age is going to require us to do Draconic Evolution. Now, one of the things for Draconic Evolution that we would benefit from to a reasonable degree is in Draconic Evolution we would benefit from the getting Draconium to start with, which we do have a decent amount of Draconium, but also from getting some more some more Nether Stars, so that we can resummon the dragon. Now we actually do have enough Nether Stars to resummon the dragon. And would do us an advantage to have a bow as well. So what bows can we make at the moment? Because we're not going to be able to make a Draconium bow straight away. We can make an ender bow from 2 infinity rods and a skeleton controller, which requires skeleton, rotten flesh, silicon, and skeleton skull. Skull, rotten flesh, solarium, and silicon. You could always capture a dragon with Woot. That is kind of my plan, is that I'm going to resurrect the dragon and then use Woot to duplicate the dragon. How you doing? You could always capture a dragon with Woot. Woot equals Doot. We're currently generating 4 RF per tick, so that's going up. How are our tanks going? So we are using up our liquid boron. We might want to sort of get a bit more liquid boron going, but that requires us to take the power gen off this. And I'm not sure if the power gen is what's giving us that heat. So if I take you away... Are you still gaining heat? Yeah, you're still gaining heat at the same speed. Okay, that's great, because that means actually we can use our power gen again. So yeah, these things are going to fill up again, which is good. We need our configurator. And we can bloop, bloop, bloop. And you can refill slowly. And if we take this guy upstairs, we can actually set a bit of boron melting. Because we do have a melter. And we can grab a tank. So I think we have an empty tank. We have an empty tank. Excellent. And we can grab a fluid duct. The coils are still powered. The coils are still powered. This thing has two outputs here, which is outputting 50,000. And I need 26,000. Those are inputs, and then we've got two outputs on this side over here. You can see that I'm outputting a steady amount of power. This guy, actually, I must admit it was being cyclical at that point. It was ending up being cyclical at that point. So boron. That's all boron 10, which we don't need, so we're going to isotope melt up some of the boron ingots, and that's going to give us boron 11. Wondering, are you related to those little robots you can make in Mechanism? Yes, I am related to robots. It's interesting that this is no longer outputting to this tank. I'm slightly confused as to why, because I've whitelisted helium. I'm new to that Minecraft server. Awesome! So we're currently generating 10 RF per tick. But we're slowly getting up through the million Kelvin period. So we want to get basically 10 times this. That's going to take a while. But we are slowly generating neutron fluid, which is what we want. I don't know if we're generating actually enough power to keep this going for as long as it needs to go, though. That's kind of the problem. Is at the moment, like, our power gen is not going to last as long as it needs to last, by the looks of it. You don't know what to do? It's just follow the quest book. The quests tell you what to do. The quest book is reasonably good in this mod pack. He says, full well knowing the guy who wrote the quest book is right here. I actually, personally, and I've told Electrified this, I really do like the hashtag BS07. I do really like the mod book, or the quest book in this one. Because the quest book in this one, to me at least, is very much a kind of, it gives you overarching goals. The quest book told you to jump off a bridge, would you? Possibly. I don't know for sure. The quest book has never told me to jump off a bridge. But yeah, I like the fact that there are big overarching goals, but at the same time, like, if you don't want to worry about the big overarching goals, you can just leave it. If it gave you loot chests for it. It would be nice if there was, like, some choices of reward for certain quests. Like, Certain bits and pieces. What did you say? This is a mod. Yeah, this is a mod. This is a mod pack. This that I'm doing at the moment is Nuclearcraft mod, but there's also the mod pack as well. They've been able to get beyond 40 frames per second. For Minecraft? That's a little bit worrying if you've never been able to get beyond 40 frames per second for Minecraft. So let's pop up here to you. And if we put you into the input, there we go. That's put the boron in there. We can add you into here and you can output power up. So that should reduce the amount of power that's being drawn out of this down to... Always found that whole, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you think a bit weird? My friends would not jump off a bridge for no reason, so if I'm on the bridge with them, I'm pretty sure jumping may well be advised. Hey, people used to jump off the bridges down around where I lived all the time. Why are you not pumping out helium anymore? I mean, you're pumping out neutron fluid, which is great, but you're not pumping the helium out, which is mildly concerning. Because I kind of need you to pump out the helium. Okay, so there's need some dark steel. There's our skeleton head. The mechanism electric bow I think is very powerful, but I think there are some pretty significant limitations on it. And then just a regular string. Regular string, regular string, regular string, regular string, regular string. And then what can we add to our bow? We can add enchantments. We can also make it empowered with a vibrant crystal. So that's not a problem. We've got enough of that, so if we grab you guys, we should be able to make a vibrant crystal. Easily enough. And down in our little XP mine down here, we've got quite a bit. We've got 700 or 70,000, 7,000 buckets, whatever it is, of that. So we can give you this. And then what can we do with you? Capacitors. So we need to go one of you and one of you. And how much is it going to be? It's going to be 8 and then probably 16. So 8 from you for this, and that gets you up. And then I didn't check how many it was, but I'm going to guess it's 12 or 16. It's 12. And then we can add an octadic capacitor to get it up to the next stage. So I'm probably going to do that. We should have everything we need just to churn out an octadic capacitor immediately. Is the Minecraft character the strongest character in game character? All those cubic meters of gold that wouldn't slow you down. Like, if you were to equate the fact that he's actually, like, the Minecraft character is actually carrying that gold, like, the amount of stuff you can store in your inventory, I would say he's probably close to one of the strongest characters in gaming. Like, if you were to say, like, is he actually carrying that gold? Would that gold actually weigh what 1 cubic meter of gold would weigh? And then we need a tormented Enderman head. Now, I think I might actually have... I don't have a tormented Enderman head. Hey, Mike Hawk. Welcome to the stream. Mike Hawk. Uranium is heavier than gold. That is true. We're currently generating a full 31 RF per tick. Great. Love it. Are you still generating power? Yeah, you're still generating power. We've got plenty of unburnt fuels. Actually, we don't have plenty of unburnt fuels. We've got nearly no unburnt fuel. Oh dear. Use. Make me some fuels, please. And use. Fuels, please. And you can make me some americium fuel. Thank you very much. And what else have we got? Oh, we've got a bunch of lithium 6 we can't do anything with. Yes, you. You can make me a bunch of those, and then you can also make me a bunch of these. Excellent. And other fuels that we've got plutonium we can't use, thorium we can't use, neptunium we can't use. We might have some uranium-based stuff. No, we don't. Okay. And we'll take the depleted fuels out and we'll go and tidy those up. Now, what we do have is we have some depleted HECM, which is very good. And depleted HECF as well. Now, one of these, I believe, when they are reprocessed, gives us... Nope, neither of them give us... Uranium's pretty heavy per atom, but I'm pretty sure it's not heavier in the way of density. It depends. Like, uranium can be stored in multiple different densities. It depends, like, what density you're storing uranium in. 42 RF per tick! Oh my god, such powerful generation. Let's make a couple of small tanks. Because these guys max out at 14. I'm wondering if it's because it thinks it's a small tank. Yeah, it's because it thinks it's a small tank. For some reason, the helium thinks this is a small tank, because this can also store 14,000 buckets. Okay, so that's odd, but that's fine. Got a little bit of helium over here. If I put you guys just down here for now, it's interesting that it's actually very good with the coloration. A lot of helium is dark color, but it fills the thing like a gas would. That's actually very kind of pretty and quite well done. So we wanted to make a tormented Enderman head. Tormented Enderman head. And for that we need 2 solarium, a capacitor, an Enderman head, and 2 bottles of water. Well, we definitely got Enderman heads. We've definitely got the solarium. We've definitely got the capacitor. Now just the question is, bottles of water. We have bottles, which means we can make bottles of water. So we can get our bow up to the top level for capastorizing, for power. Which I'm pretty sure if we get it up to the top level for power should be more than enough for us to take on the basic Ender Dragon without much concern. Osmium is even denser. I think the atomically densest thing in the world is it Californium? Or is it Einsteinium? No, it's not Californium. It's either Einsteinium or Nobelium is the densest particle that we have yet managed to create. A little bit of power. And then we need arrows. So this does actually need arrows to function. Ooh, that's nice. Those are impractically unstable, though. That is true. They are very, very unstable to the point of being... Okay, so that is a functioning bow. The question is now, what can we do with it? If we were to enchant it just naturally. I'm learning some advanced science right now. We'd give it withering. I don't really want to give it withering. Unfortunately. Let's get some of 254. The 249 is actually quite useful. Because what we can do is we can combine 254 with 249, and that will give us a fuel, which should give us access to 250, which is the one that gives us free power. So what we can do is we can actually tell this guy to burn this fuel specifically. Depleted HEA I don't think gives us anything immediately. No, it's just curium. We know is Dragon Force is the hardest metal known to man. Oh dear. Go Power Rangers. Why did Dragon Force bring Power Rangers to my brain? I blame you for that with a voice. You made me think of Power Rangers. And I'm not really sure why. Oh, we can actually see the neutron fluid now. Nice. Now you're back up to a full bucket's worth, so we'll grab you. And we will empty you. Or not. For some reason, for some reason it's really very picky with how it does things right now. So now you should be able to absorb a full 14 buckets worth. And we're up to generating... Oh, we're up to 1% efficiency. We're generating a whole 84 RF per tick. How goes our RF storage? We've still got 1 billion RF. We've still got 1 billion RF. You're up to a whole 1% efficiency. How much fuel have we got left? We've got 8 buckets and 2,000 buckets. So yeah, we do need to be mildly concerned that we're going to run out. Let's just ignore the bit where I misspelt Enigmatica and called it Perfect Server Launch. No worries, Salnix. I actually quite like Enigmatica Expert Mode. I quite like Advanced Rocketry in like Advanced Rocketry is one of those mods that I do find very frustrating. The 16 Californium each, that's great. Advanced Rocketry is one of those mods that I do find very frustrating, but at the same time I think is an absolutely excellent mod. So I don't think... oh no, that is LCF 249. Nice. So one depleted LCF 249. Do you have enough power left in you to process this guy? Not quite. Rigidium. Don't you talk about your rigid things around me, boy. You pervert. Talking about rigid things around strangers. I don't know. What am I going to do with you? Hey, Psycho, welcome to the stream. Hey, Salnex. So we are ticking along reasonably well. We're looking at making more of the RTGs, and we're just trying to get this reactor running. God dang it. I mean, this reactor's running quite well. It's generating 4,000 RF per tick, which is more than we can actually use. And it's generating, even with LECF, it's actually not generating any heat. It's only when we get into the HECFs and HECMs that it's actually generating heat at all. So that's a really efficient reactor, and all I've used is redstone, lapis, and tin coolers, which are actually very cheap and easy to make as far as like the cost of coolers goes. We're slowly ticking up with heat. We're up to 100, like we're powering half of one of these batteries at the moment. We are powering half of one of these batteries. I thoroughly despair that we are powering half of one of these batteries off this. Wants to get nuclear power up and running, and I want him to be ruler of my country. Nuclear power is, like... Lots of people have, like, bad thoughts about nuclear power. They think nuclear power is sort of frightfully dangerous and things like this. Actually, nuclear power is not that bad. So what recipes do we want to add to our bow? We probably want... what's it called? It's not punch, it's power. So power 5 costs 60 flint, 15 and 33 levels. That's fine. We can grab 33 levels from the mob farm. Which one of you has more in you? This guy. So 33 levels. That's not going to be a problem. A lot of this actually comes, by the way, from mining redstone. Because I could have processed the redstone, but I decided just to manually mine it. And actually it produced a lot of XP. And the reason I chose to manually mine it was just because of the sheer amount of redstone I was getting out of the ground. I wasn't hugely fussed. I mean, we've got, after all the redstone I've used, we've still got 600 redstone. That's not a lot considering we have 11,000 lapis. But I can go and get redstone very, very easily. And how much do I need to put you on my bow? 5 levels. That's fine. So what else other than power 5? What else should I stick on the bow, do you think? Nuclear power is bad for private enterprise and energy, solid security with the force of a nation state behind it. But if you have that geologically safe ground and access to water, nuclear power is brilliant, releasing little to no CO2. Nuclear power isn't bad for private enterprise in some ways, it is bad for others. But I am one of these people who, while I'm not, shall we say, a blind socialist who believes in socialism over everything else, I believe that there are certain situations where having state-run things is not a bad idea. State-run healthcare, for example. There's plenty of evidence that state-run healthcare is by far more effective. No! No, server, don't you dare. Don't you dare steal all of my progress. Don't you dare steal all of my progress. If you restart server and it gets rid of my progress on this, I will rage so hard. Going to play BL2. Not any idea what BL2 is. Backup Librarian 2? It should not. Thank God for that. If the server restart stole that progress, I would be so beefed. You have no idea. You would have to peel me off the floor, and like feed me little chunks of chocolate to make me happy again. Right, you sit there. Your 400 redstone flux per tick should be more than enough. Here in France, we run mostly nuclear power, and it's pretty fine. Yeah, it's only in certain circumstances where nuclear power is dangerous, and even then, like, there was pretty extreme circumstances in Japan when the nuclear power went wrong in Japan. And yet, despite the fact there was pretty significant problems when / remove droid reactor / restart. No! Even though there was pretty massive problems, there was a tidal wave and an earthquake and all sorts of other problems involved with sort of the reactor in Japan. It still didn't like melt down. Lithium 7 is the other thing we need to refill. So we need to head over here. We've got our melter and our pipe. Do we have any lithium 7 waiting to be melted? We have lots of lithium 6, but no lithium 7. So we're going to... Can we directly isotope separate you guys? Or no? We can. And we want to get you to about 400. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. That's about 400. And we'll charge up the bow. We've got some more Californium coming in for our Redstone RTG, for our Californium RTGs, which is some more 400s. The idea is to get it to the point where I can have a couple of compact machines, each with enough Californium RTGs that they're generating 20,000 redstone flux per tick, which is the maximum that these cables can carry. I could upgrade to the Elite Universal cables, which would mean that I could transfer 50,000 redstone flux per tick, or roughly 50,000. It's about 60,000 redstone flux per tick from a single point. But I mean, I could get 60,000 redstone flux per tick in here just out of RTGs. We're up to 2% efficiency. We're almost powering one of the batteries off this. We're almost powering a single battery off this so far. It's awesome. We will soon be powering a single battery. Some of us are old enough to remember why having government-owned and run telecoms is a bad idea. See, it wasn't necessarily a bad idea right up until the point where the government started like not actually paying attention to its own responsibilities. But I think like people can keep government in sort of check for things like that. Like human beings can be check and balance against the government. Hey, D'Angelo, welcome to the stream. So the server's going to take probably a couple of minutes to restart now, but that's fine. We shouldn't lose any progress on our reactor when we come back. We should still have our whopping 2% fuel efficiency. Go right-wing government. Government is the problem. Vote for us. We'll prove it. So while we're waiting for that to restart, this is a little background game called Loot Dungeon, which is something that I've been playing in the background. We have our little tavern that we can upgrade. I'm going to upgrade the kitchen because that gives our people more HP. And then we need to hire our adventuring party. We're going to hire a conjurer. We're going to sleep because we don't have any more conjurers. We're going to hire a couple more conjurers. And we're going to hire a healer and a fighter. And we're just going to make sure that we don't want her to have an ice. We want her to have a fire. That's fine. You can have an ice gem. Yeah, that's fine. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch these guys out for staffs because they're magical characters and that will increase their magic damage. And you guys can have... Oh no, you're conjurer, you can have a staff. You guys can have the swords because you are not magic users. And we don't have enough of the essence to upgrade that. So we're going to go and throw you in here. It's called Soda Dungeon. And then you can turn autoplay off. And then you can actually tactically make decisions, including using magic items and using like shield powers and things. So he can shield, and then she can shield. And then you can catch fire. Or you can just turn autoplay on, and it'll kind of figure it out on its own. It doesn't pick the best way to do things. Like, she used up mana when she didn't have to. But it's fine. If you have a thief in your party, at the end of each set of 10 fights, you get a choice of 3 chests. If you have a thief in your party, you can actually take all 3 chests, which is kind of cool. And also there are random points if you have auto turned off where you get a choice between 2 doors, one of which will contain a trap and one of which will contain a reward. The rewards can include things like fully healing your entire party and giving you extra treasure, and the traps can include things like putting half your party to sleep, which is essentially an insta-kill. If like half your party's asleep, your party's done. The This guy's glowing purple, so he's going to give me essence when he dies. We use those to upgrade the relics that we get, and the relics are the kind of when you refresh. And like with all incremental games, you have that moment where you have to refresh and basically go back to the beginning of the game again. But what sticks around is relics stick around, and you can then basically use essence to upgrade your relics. There is sound. It's kind of awesome, kind of retro RPG sound. So we've got the kind of awesome retro RPG sound in the background. Shall we see if the server's back online? Or are you still refreshing, server? Ooh, we've got a logging in, which means the server's probably back online. And literally, I'm just leaving this on autoplay in the background because I'm the kind of person who likes to see numbers get bigger. It's a mild addiction of mine. Ooh, it's loading train. Yay, we're back in the server. So, you can go away. So, depleted fuel-wise, we've got some depleted LECF there. Hey, D'Angelo, welcome to the stream and the SSD. Please try to pro as much as you can while you're there. And that depleted LCF is another Californium, RTG for us. I just followed. Thank you very much. Why not play Progress Quest? I've never played Progress Quest. Clicker Heroes, Region Manager, Cookie Clicker, like things where I don't actually have to do anything. I tend to kind of just be like, okay, I can set this running in the background and not worry about it, sort of thing. I tend to quite get attracted by those things. So let's give you like 4 of these to speed you up, and give you like 4 of these to speed you up. And use, we should be able to get maybe 3 or 4. 4. Lovely. And we've still got some left. Now we don't have any Californium 249, which is what we need to make the stuff that gives us Californium 250. But that's fine because we can make ourselves a bunch of... We're missing graphite. Ooh. Coal powder. In you go. I'm playing a bit of Clicker Heroes 2. It needs a lot of work, though. Yeah, it's one of the problems with a lot of clicker games is I've noticed that they don't necessarily improve with age, shall we say, or improve with iteration. Not to say that we reached the pinnacle of clicker games, but clicker games are not exactly hugely complicated, and the more they try to innovate on clicker games, I think perhaps the less effective it sometimes gets. I have a very high level halfling bastard lunatic. Nice. One of the things I will say though is that I have been asked to run a Dresden RPG game. And I'm actually very interested in the Dresden RPGs, because I like the world of Dresden. It's a fate-based RPG. Still up to 2% efficiency. We are slowly running out of lithium, but that's fine, because we are getting fluid. So we're almost up to 1/4 of what we need. And I'm assuming this is going to operate faster. We're generating 240 RF per tick. Okay. Realm Grinder, that's one of the ones I played. Realm Grinder is very good. I like the build system in Realm Grinder. One of my favourite builds to run early game was to run an elf build with an auto-clicker, because an elf build with an auto-clicker is just silly. An elf build with an auto-clicker is just absolutely silly. Speaking of grinding. So what other enchantments do we want on our bow? Don't care about punch. Don't care about XP boost. Infinity might be nice. Don't care about knockback. Yeah, don't really care about punch. Mending maybe. Flame. It's not really going to do anything against the sort of stuff I'm going to be shooting. Allows the bow to fire normal arrows for free. You must have at least 1 arrow for it to work. Yeah, we could go with an infinity. Applies withering to the target, applies withering to melee weapons, applies withering to target, applies withering to bows. In WoW at the moment, trying to get the achievement, we're going to need a bigger bag. Ooh. So yeah, I might go with infinity, which is 4 grains of infinity. If we go down to the reactor and then down here, I think we have enough there to do that particular. And then we need another book. And 17 levels. It's not too bad. I always soulbound my tools and weapons personally. Yeah. Soulbound is nice, but soulbound costs a lot for the benefit it gives you, in my opinion. I prefer the method of trying not to die and then screaming in frustration when I do die because I've lost all my equipment. Not logical, I know, but not terrible either. Okay, so we're one-shotting creepers now. That's good. That was quite fun. The bunny people. Do not take the name and the power of the bunny people in vain. The bunny people will come and get you. Each kill a crab, it has a low % chance to spawn a rare crab. Rare crab has a very low % chance to get what I want. Each crab has crab meat. Sold 2,000 crab meat. Yeah, I remember grinding specific items in World of Warcraft. Grinding like specific individual items in World of Warcraft is a pain in the butt. Now we should have a couple of spare shards, unattuned shards. We have a unattuned shard from oh, there we go. Now the elite fluid tank is working. Weird. Very, very strange. How much power have we got left in here? We have 1.92 billion RF. That's fine. Sad Bunny now. Why Sad Bunny? Do not take the power of the bunny people in vain. Do not make the bunny people sad, for droid shall come and destroy you. Depleted LEB, depleted HECM, and depleted LEA, depleted HEA. These are things that I actually want to process up to see what we get from them. Roughly 10,000 crabs killed. Cool. Bit of a pain. Enigmatica 2 might be finished loading by the end of the century. Enigmatica is certainly what I would refer to as a hefty mod pack. The expert mode is quite interesting because it's a very hefty mod pack, but the expert mode, the quest rewards, like some of the quest rewards it gives you are very, very kind of early game powerful quest rewards. It's hard to quantify at the moment what I mean statistically unlucky. Hey, no. You have a word error in the title of your live stream. No, I don't. I do actually mean it to say fecking. It was intentional that it said fecking and not the swear word variant of that particular word. FAQing. Exactly. A soldier I will be. And if we put together some of that, and then if we look up Californium, we can put together 2 Californium like that, and that will get us some more Californium 250. Not being rude or anything, but how old are you? Old enough to know better, young enough to still want to try. Does that answer your question? Oh, what was that post? That was a Gaizo post. Oh dear. No. Excellent. Glad it didn't answer your question. I wasn't particularly trying that hard. Why are you written like that? Well, he can be written however he wants. He doesn't have to try and please you, Salmex. Put together any amount of Californium or Astinium and being nearby rapidly becomes very sad making. Oh dear. All the radiation. All the radiation. All the radiation. All the radiation. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Sorry. Do you only play Minecraft? No, I play all sorts of things. I play RPGs. I play hero shooters from time to time. It just depends entirely on what I feel like playing. The nuclear craft helium can only be condensed in a neutron irradiate. Nope, in a... Wait. Helium uses. Supercooler. We don't have a supercooler. I play all sorts of stuff, yeah, as well. Depending entirely on... Is there no recipe for the supercooler? Oh, there is a recipe for the supercooler. It was just over here. In a different part of the screen. Because for some reason, nuclear craft is listed twice. What's your dream job? Paramedic is my dream job. Unfortunately, I was unable to become a paramedic. So now you are going to turn 16 buckets of helium into how many buckets of liquid helium? It's going to turn 8,000 buckets into 25 millibuckets. That's not bad at all. So tank. Let's grab another tank. So what did you become? First I was a busboy, as many people tend to be. Then I became a security officer, then an X-ray officer, then I became a supported housing worker, working in supported housing to... I'm super cool, also mega pedantic. Okay. As long as you know who you are. Then I worked in supported housing, working to help people with drug, alcohol, mental health, etc. Up to 469 RF per tick. That's kind of good. Ooh, we have a bucket of neutron fluid. I like that. Submit it immediately. We are a quarter of the way there. I'm hoping this thing speeds up as it in its production of fluid as it gets further on. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this has enough lithium and enough boron to keep it running for now. Oh, hello. So we're going to give it a lithium tank back. And that's going to, if we set this to always extract, really need to stop you from inserting. And stop you from inserting. There we go. Now we need to worry about getting enough boron. But hopefully... we've got boron in here, so we can throw some boron down here. And if we get nether crystals, end crystals, we can go and summon the dragon. So yeah, we should have enough fuel to keep it running until we've killed the dragon. I will charge up all my armor and equipment, because the dragon's not particularly hard to deal with. We've got enough power here, I should think. Although I'm mildly concerned about our power generation. Let's pull out of you. Because these guys can also provide power. Thus far show other people are not me and do not think like me. That's true. Once I get my GCSE, my life is complete. No, it's not. Not by a long way. But good luck. I want it to void output overflow. Yeah, void the output overflow. So it'll get rid of the excess helium. So let's go and see if we can fight the Ender Dragon. And capture it inside a shard. I completely forgot to charge my equipment. I know myself... I know myself better than is really useful. Sadly, I still don't get other people to a useful extent. That's not fun when things go like that. But yeah, I certainly get you there, dude. All of these have a decent amount of charge. It was just my leggings because I was using speed on them. I have to wait 22 seconds now. Ooh! We got a little bit of RF there for a second. Not a lot, but we've got enough boron in this to... we've got enough boron in there to actually provide the amount of... neutron fluid we need to progress through this age. So that's fine. We've got enough to provide the neutron fluid we need to progress through this age. Any more boron we put in there? Because I calculated it out so that we actually had 10% more than we needed. We had enough to make 4,400 millibuckets. I wouldn't say you necessarily go from one crisis to another, but you certainly go from one experience to another. And experiences are the important things in life. You can't live your life without experiencing things. And experiences are an important way of kind of living better and getting more used to the world around yourself. Sure, I have a spare dimensional transceiver somewhere. Looking for a desert. Are you looking for dessert? There's another 3,000 boron, which we can go and feed to our reactor. Come on. Hello? Why have you crashed?